Ukraine war in favor of Iran? In today's discussion, I'm going to talk about what consequences this war have for Middle East. Despite all speculations, the Ukrainian war is still going on and Vladimir Zelensky does not take the route that Moscow expects. But as I said in my previous discussion, this war is unfortunately in favor of many countries from US to Europe and from China to Iran. But let's see, what does it exactly have for Iran and Middle East? It seems that Iran and US are on the verge of reaching a landmark agreement in Vienna nuclear talks, and a Russian operation in Ukraine actually doubled the possibility of an agreement because mainly Western powers does not want Iran to get closer to Russia in this situation. So Tehran will have the chance to get the most from this. Iran is one of the biggest producers of oil and gas in the international market. Although it has struggled to export these products to the international market in the recent years because of the sanctions, but it can resume it in short term. So as we see, if US and Europe are going to decrease their dependence on the Russian oil, they can exchange it for Iranian oil plus oil from Venezuela. This can actually happen in long term, but it's a possibility for them and it's a chance to reduce their dependence. China's mega plan has two pivots, north and south. This mega project, which involves almost 70 countries, should lead across Russia or Iran in the north or south to reach Europe. The southern pivot in Iran was isolated and left alone in recent years, especially because of tensions and sanctions. But now that Russia has been put under harsh sanctions from Europe and US, and Iran is on the verge of removing its sanctions by agreement in Vienna nuclear talks, Tehran has the chance to activate the south pivot of this big project and to become a transit hub in the region and Middle East. We know that Middle East have been in the center of focus for Europe and US in last 3 decades, but now the war in European soil distracted them from Middle East, and also if China starts a war in Taiwan, they will also get more distracted. And at the same time, we have seen that US is trying in the recent years to pull out of Middle East, and it tries to reach an agreement with Iran to make sure that tensions won't increase again here, because they don't want to have another big problem and war in the Middle East while they are trying to control Russia in Europe and China in the South China Sea. So in this situation, Iran will have the chance not only to get closer to its neighboring hostile countries like Saudi Arabia, as we have seen some negotiations between them in recent months, but Iran will have the chance to work on its economy in peace for coming years. The more Russia is under pressure from European countries politically and economically, the closer it gets to China and Iran. In case of Iran's agreement on its nuclear issue with Western countries in Vienna, then Iran will have the chance to bring up some kind of balanced relations between West and Russia and to get the most from it. But all these speculations could happen just if Tehran wants them to happen.